It's a quiet night, but a chilly night. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for clicking on my Weather Extra. Air temps tonight will dip into the single digits. That's half the story, though, because the wind stays active. Wind chill values will dip below zero for many towns. In fact, in the mountains, a wind chill advisory has been issued for northern Oxford, Franklin, Somerset County, and Coos County from 10 o'clock tonight until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Their wind chill values will approach 20 to 30 degrees below zero. Current air temps at almost 8 o'clock. I'm recording this around 10 of 8. We're seeing air temps in the 20s. That's not too bad, right? Well, the winds are a little active still, so wind chills currently are in the single digits and teens. Actual air temperatures, not including the wind chills, will be in the single digits for lows tonight, below zero for the hills and mountains. Okay, remember the storm system that just missed us yesterday? Some towns got a few flurries, but that's about it. That storm system is moving up in the Canadian Maritimes. In its wake, we have a stiff west-northwesterly wind in place, and that is ushering in cooler air diving south out of Canada. There's a weak area of low pressure to our south. That is not going to play a role in our forecast. Instead, there's another little disturbance up into the northern plains. That will play a role in our forecast for late tomorrow night into Wednesday. Light accumulations are possible, probably around a dusting to as much as 2 inches of snow. Here's Storm Tracker that takes us right into the day on Wednesday. Tomorrow looks to be a nice one with some sun, lighter winds, and cooler temps, lower 20s for highs. But by Wednesday morning, your morning commute will likely feature a little bit of light snow. This is 7 o'clock in the morning. It should be a rather progressive system. It should move out by afternoon, so a little bit of sun should make an appearance. And temps will actually be a little bit warmer, making their way into the 30s on Wednesday. Again, here's Storm Tracker, a closer inspection now. We're starting the single digits and teens tomorrow morning. Afternoon highs warm into the teens and lower 20s. So temps are a good 10 degrees below normal tomorrow. Lots of sunshine with a light wind. Now, a little light snow develops Wednesday morning, probably during the pre-dawn hours, 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. That's when the snow develops, and it should be a rather quick mover. Expect a little bit of sun by afternoon, and that will send temps into the 20s and 30s. This is one forecast model we run in-house here. This is just the microcast model run, indicating, some towns will get upwards of an inch of snow, maybe slightly higher as you head across that darker shade of blue, heading back up into the hillier terrain, around an inch or two of snow. So again, not a big deal, but it looks like many towns will get enough to coat the ground anyway on Wednesday. Tomorrow looks to be a nice one, however cool. Light snow moves in early on Wednesday. Thursday looks nice, however cool that day as well. Clouds should increase during the afternoon. Now, our next storm system still very in question for Friday. Right now I'm keeping snow in the forecast, but we should clear things out Saturday and Sunday. I want to talk a little bit more about that Friday storm system here. Forecast models are not agreeing at all. Well, a few of them are not agreeing at all as far as the track and intensity of this storm system moving in late in the week. I'll show you what I mean here. The GFS model, for instance. This is the GFS initialized 7 o'clock in the morning today. This goes out 108 hours to Friday night. Notice there's a weak surface reflection off of somewhere off of Maine, the Gulf of Maine, and another area of low pressure which is south of us. In fact, let's scoot this down a little bit so you can see that a little bit better. There it is, south of us down to the southeastern portion of the United States. Now, compare that to the European model. Wow, the European will be a beast, right? In fact, if that were to verify, we get a big snowstorm around here. We get a lot of snow and a lot of wind, and it will be a good storm for snow lovers. This, again, initialized 7 o'clock this morning, goes out until Friday night, goes out 108 hours to Friday night. A sizable storm south of Cape Cod, Nantucket, Martha's Vineyard. If that were to verify, it would be a big deal around here. I'll show you where the differences lie. This is the 500 millibar panel, or roughly 18,000 feet in elevation. The northern branch right in there is a little bit flatter or weaker, and has a southern branch which is kind of lagging behind a little bit. A little disturbance in that southern branch is just kind of pushed back, so they never get a chance to phase. Now, on the other hand, this would be the European model run. That northern branch digs, you get that southern branch with a disturbance out ahead of it, wraps it right in. We call this phasing. That would allow a more significant storm to develop. So that's the big difference. Again, GFS and the European. Now, it's worth mentioning the NAM model doesn't go out past 84 hours, but here's the 18Z model run, and it too looks fairly flat, like many other forecast models do. They look fairly flat with this thing and not really phasing the storm system. So this is actually 84 hours. So this takes us to 1 a.m. Friday morning. Compare that to the European here. Notice how it's a little more pronounced over the Great Lakes, and with that disturbance out ahead of it down in the deep south, or the southeastern part of the United States. And compare that to the GFS. Again, the GFS is basically a non-event, and it looks like the NAM is sort of in line with what the GFS has as well. Now, it's worth mentioning that the European is the outlier in this situation, but it's something we cannot discount. We'll have to keep a close eye on this forecast in the coming days here, because the potential still exists for a sizable storm later in the week. But again, it's that European run is a little bit of an outlier at this point. So head back to the 7-day forecast here. It actually looks like there is a little bit of a warm-up in store late in the weekend into early next week. There's your inland forecast. Not much of a change there, but again, the big story in the near term will be the cold air moving in tonight and plan on a little bit of snow pretty much every other day right through the first part of the weekend. We're going to see light snow Wednesday morning, and again, regardless, we should see at least something moving through on Friday, whether it's just a little light snow or a blockbuster of a storm. So stay tuned. That's the way things look tonight. I hope everyone has a lovely evening. I'll have an update tonight at News 13 at 11. I'll see you then.